Good morning, everybody. Welcome to week 2. I hope that you were able to find some success with some of the tools and the things that we were introduced to in week 1. I really wanted to focus on just getting kind of an idea and an overview of our stress profile and in the form of self-awareness, just kind of figuring out some of those things that make us tick and some of those things that are triggers for us, and then looking at how we currently are coping with stressful situations. This week, we are jumping into a topic that I call relax. So this has multiple different dimensions to it. And in fact, we're going to be introducing 2 tools to you this week. The first tool is something that when anybody asks me, what is the one significant change that I have made to help reduce stress and to help get to my best self, I always go back to my morning routine. So I know that you've probably heard of this. I know that you've probably interacted with this before, but for this course, one thing that is a non-negotiable for me is to really get clear on how you currently start your mornings and how you might be able to modify or change just very tiny pieces of that to optimize your day so that you can set yourself up for success and not for failure. Right now, a lot of us, we start our day by immediately grabbing our phones, we're checking our emails, we're connecting in the second we wake up. And what that's doing is it's creating a day that is designed for you, right? It's by a default. You're already answering to other people's ideas of what your day should look like. So when you can start your morning by designing your day, it sets you up for success for the rest of your day. I mean, if you think about those mornings where I have 2 little ones and the alarm clock goes off and I hit snooze, and so then I'm already late by the time I wake up, and then I immediately start going 100 miles an hour and I'm forgetting this and I have to pack lunches and I'm going here and I get to school and I'm stuck in traffic, I'm mad at traffic, and I get to my classroom, my kids are waiting outside the door, I'm trying to open the door. And if you think about those days, those are usually the days where most of your behavioral issues in your classroom and these things that go wrong happen on days like that. And really taking into consideration, what is my kind of role in that and how am I fostering that or facilitating that in my classroom environment? So for me, the morning routine has kind of evolved throughout the years, but there are some things that are very, very important to me. In fact, I don't know if anybody's ever heard, this is called the Miracle Morning. A guy named Hal Elrod kind of created this system. This is actually called the Miracle Morning for Teachers. So I'm just starting to digest this, but basically it's these 6 practices that you can put into your morning to start your day kind of in a clear, kind of crystal clear approach to how you want to continue. So it can look different for everybody. And in fact, I kind of suggest that you start slow. So maybe it's just setting your alarm clock for 5 minutes earlier. And instead of hopping out of bed, you're going to take 5 deep breaths and you're going to say something that you're grateful for. I suggest starting with a big glass of water, something that you're going to just be able to drink right away, because while we're sleeping, we lose about 1 gallon of water. So when we wake up, we're already dehydrated. And dehydration can cause all kinds of things like fatigue and muscle soreness. So if you aren't hydrating, then that would be a really nice place to start. The lemon in the water is just an extra bonus. It does not have to be there, but that actually helps stimulate digestion and gets your metabolism and your digestive tract kind of in motion for the day. It can also help with detox. So just food for thought. If you can keep it on your nightstand and you just kind of chug it when you first wake up in the morning, just those 2 practices, waking up 5 minutes early, doing your deep breaths, saying something you're grateful for, and drinking a glass of water. Maybe that's all you're going to do for right now. But just starting your mornings with intentionality. As far as the stress hormones, if you look at kind of the elevated rates of stress throughout the day. So the stress hormone that was released is called cortisol. And our cortisol levels are actually the absolute highest in the morning. And biologically, that's on purpose so that it helps us kind of get up and out of bed. But if you don't do something first thing in the morning to bring those cortisol levels down, then you can stay in a heightened level of cortisol production for the rest of your day. So by doing something for yourself in the morning that's going to calm and help you to relax, you are taking those cortisol levels and bringing them down so that you feel more stable and steady for the rest of the day. So whatever that morning routine is, and somewhere throughout your day, the second tool for this week is going to be really focused on mindfulness. So for me, it just happens that mindfulness and meditation are part of that morning routine. I've been meditating daily for about, 7 years now. And I can tell you that my meditation practice at first was not easy. If you're trying meditation for the first time, give yourself so much grace, because to sit in silence for 10 minutes or 5 minutes without letting that monkey mind kind of chatter in your head, it's not going to happen. But more and more research is pointing to the benefits of meditation. In fact, you're going to be interacting with some of that this week. And when we can find time for silence and solitude, it allows your brain to take those things that are swirling all day long and either retain them to put them in the correct kind of folders, or maybe something will come up for you that you didn't think of. Sometimes creativity can be fostered through meditation. Something that's kind of like tickling in the back of your brain comes to focus and to the front of your brain and allows you to kind of tap into that and to maybe find something that you didn't even know was really there. So some of my most deep thinking moments are actually during meditation, which I know sounds counterproductive because people think of meditation as like clear the slate. Can't think of anything. Another way to interact with mindfulness doesn't have to be meditation. It can be going for a walk in nature without your earbuds in. It could be just sitting outside in the morning for a second, even when it's freezing cold, and just allowing that silence. In the winter, it's so quiet in the mornings, and there's something beautiful about tapping into that, letting the sunlight hit your face, feeling that vitamin D. So it doesn't have to be the traditional mindfulness meditation piece. However, if you are going to try meditation, which I strongly suggest you do, and this week, at least for this week, I would love for you to kind of tap into the meditation piece. So I use the Calm app. I love the Calm app. It used to be free for teachers. I know that they kind of took that down for a little bit. I don't know if it's back up, but if not, if you download the app, there are free materials in there that you can kind of interact with. I have the paid version. I actually have a lifetime subscription because I love it that much. But even if you just do the free version to see how you like it, you can totally do that. Some other apps that I love, 10% Happier is a really good one. Insight Timer has thousands of free meditations that are really, really good. Headspace is actually where I started with meditation. This guy named Andy Petticombe created Headspace, and that one's really great. So whatever app you kind of fall into, that's totally fine. I just want you to interact with something this week that looks like meditation or mindfulness. So the morning routine, maybe that's part of that, right? When you go on to this week's module, you're going to see a couple things. You're going to see this overview video that kind of goes through what the morning routine is and a little bit about mindfulness. You're going to see this thing that says Mindfulness 101, Optimize. There is this guy, his name is Brian Johnson, and he is, I'd like to call him like a modern day philosopher, but what he does for a living is he digests every type of book, whether it be from positive psychology to, wellness to whatever it is. And then he creates these kind of master classes based on all the digestion of this material. So the one that I shared with you is it's an audio file, and it says Mindfulness 101. So in this, he goes through all kinds of things, like the benefits of mindfulness. He gives you some tips and ideas, and then 5 reasons backed by scientists that meditation can benefit you. I showed you in the module what minutes I'd like you to listen to because it's long. I mean, I suggest listening to the whole thing, but if you don't have an hour, there are definitely some pieces that I want you to interact with that are really short. And then after you do that, there is a Meditation 101 Word document that you can click on, fill out, and then you can attach as a file in Canvas for me so that I can grade that. And that's really just like, why are you trying meditation? Why do you think it could possibly benefit you after listening to that recording? The second piece of that optimized piece is another little segment in there that just gives you a breathing technique that I utilize a lot. It's an in-breath for 6, hold for 2, exhale for 7. When you get in touch with your breath and you really focus on that long exhale, the exhale being longer than the inhale, it puts your nervous system into an automatic calming space. So allowing your nervous system to just take a moment to kind of exhale for just a little bit longer than the inhale can completely change the way that your body is producing stress hormones. So I wanted you to try that. And then if you go back to the module after the Mindfulness 101, underneath of that, you're going to see a TED Talk with this man named Light Watkins, who I really, really love. He is a meditation teacher, and I just think that this TED Talk gives you such a nice snapshot of what meditation can be, and kind of giving yourself grace for the process and allowing it to not be super pretty or routine or have expectations surrounding what it's supposed to look like, and just allowing yourself to interact for a second with just stillness and solitude. And then the other two kind of pieces that you have to do is tool number one, you're gonna have to tell me your morning routine action plan. So again, I don't care what you do for your morning routine, what it's gonna look like, if you're gonna wake up a half hour early or you're going to wake up, 5 minutes early, if you're gonna do 3 things or you're gonna do 1 thing. But it has to be some type of me time, self-care, something in the morning that's going to reduce your cortisol levels and set you up for the day. And you're just going to explain to me there, like, what is it going to be? So you can think of it as like goal setting. That way I know, and that way at the end of this, that's part of your 10-point project. So if you've looked at the bottom of the modules, you'll see that there's 3 different types of projects, and you're going to be doing them all throughout the course. But for the 10-point, it includes your morning routine reflection at the end of the course and a goal setting activity that you're going to do at the end of the course to set you up after it's over. How are you going to continue on this journey? The 20-point project is every time you do a discussion, so like the TED Talks that you're doing, if you listen to a podcast, the Optimize thing, those are all going to be part of that 20-point project. And your 30-point projects are those reflections on the tools that I'm introducing. So for this week, your tool is mindfulness. You'll see on there that reflection counts towards that 30-point project. So your projects are embedded in the course, but just so you can see the three kind of trends that you're kind of putting information into, that way you have a better understanding of, okay, I'm doing this, but it's part of this 20-point project. So all of that information is on the underneath modules week 2 for you. If you're interested in different forms of morning routines, you can literally type in morning routines and get some ideas of exactly what that looks like. I think I told you, for me, it's I wake up, I drink a big glass of water, I do a moment of gratitude before I step out of bed. I meditate for 10 minutes. I move for 10 minutes. So I do a yoga app called Down Dog. And then I do a journal. I have an app called the 5-Minute Journal that allows me just to focus my day. It has very prompted questions, 3 things I'm grateful for, what 3 things would make this day fabulous for you. And it kind of sets your intentions and your affirmations for the day and gets you set up. That is my routine, but that does not have to be your routine, but just giving you some ideas. And I put some ideas in the module descriptions too. Please know that I am always here to answer questions. It's really tricky not to be able to see you and interact with you in a way that I can truly help you, but we have to do it through the cyber world, and that's totally okay. But also know that if you ever had questions or something was coming up for you and you wanted to hop on a call with me, we can always hop on a Zoom, or I can, speak with you like that too, if that's something that you think would benefit you. And that's it. I know this one was a little bit longer. Good luck with your week this week. Routine, definitely would love for that to happen for the full 8 weeks of the course. Again, we're looking for progress, not perfection. So if it's not every day, that's awesome, but at least setting the intention, okay? And then this week being really serious about a mindfulness practice. And I would love for you to continue the mindfulness practice, but we're just kind of exposing you to different tools, and you're gonna kind of pick and choose which ones work for you. Okay, have a great week. Thanks so much.